We can all agree that getting into the photography and film industry in Kenya is getting a lot more easier. And it's because photography equipment is getting a lot more cheaper and the quality is getting higher. But despite all this, the Kenyan photographer is still poor. The Kenyan photographer is still starving. And as much as there are several reasons that can contribute to this, like maybe not understanding the business side of photography or not being able to acquire good enough equipment, I think there is one major reason that is making the Kenyan photographer starve. And that reason is price wars. We are competing on price. Tunapigania bei. Who can be the cheapest? Who can charge the lowest? So other factors aside, this is the single most important factor that is keeping us poor, starving day after day. Let me take an example of photographer A and photographer B. Photographer A meets a client or is approached by a client and he quotes $1,000. That is about $100,000, maybe for a wedding photography. Then the same client goes to photographer B looking for wedding photography services. Then photographer B says, I will charge you $200. That is about 20,000 Kenyan shillings for the same wedding photography. If in the event that this client is a price shopper, price shopping clients are those who are constantly looking for the cheapest service provider in the industry. So if in the event that this client is a price shopper, then you can guess what will happen. They will go for the one who is charging $200. What happens to the $1,000 photographer? He goes without a client. And this is constantly what we are doing day after day in this industry. We want to attract clients. We are trying to keep clients by being the cheapest. But guess what? It doesn't work like that. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting the industry in general. We are racing to the bottom. You might think that by charging cheaper, you will get one client after another, one client after another. It might be true. It will get to a point where these cheap clients are referring each other to you. And in the long run, you will stretch yourself thin because you have a ton of cheap clients to cater for. So in a day, you have like 5 clients to shoot for, and then you get paid an amount that cannot sustain you. While photographer A is charging premium prices, he can only maybe cater for 2 or 3 clients in a month, but he gets an amount that can sustain him well over 6 to 8 months without getting another job. While you, with your cheap clients, if you fail to service a client for 2 weeks, then you're already starving. There is nothing in your pocket. You're poor. You're starving. You're trying to look for another cheap client to sustain you. So where would you rather be? Would you rather be a photographer A who is charging premium and not getting so many clients, or would you rather be a photographer B who is charging peanuts with a load of cheap clients? But most of us don't understand that economics. We think that by being the cheapest, we are going to attract more clients and get more money and get richer by scale. In photography, it doesn't work like that. So I don't want to make today's video too long. It was just a food for thought. I want you as a photographer or a filmmaker or as an aspiring photographer thinking of getting into the industry, think about this. And I think the solution out of this is coming up as groups in whatever region you are. Maybe you're in Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru. Come up with a grouping, an association in your area. I know there are those that are existing as we speak, but I don't think they are effective when it comes to controlling the price. So we can have price control associations where we come up and agree that for whatever package of photography, we should have a range of prices. We don't set a fixed amount of price. We can say maybe between $1,000 to $500,000. So you can charge in between, not higher, not lower, so that even clients themselves, they will know that for me to get this type of photography service, then I will have to part with this amount of money. In the beginning, it might be difficult for both the photographer and the client, but in the long run, it becomes something like a market price that each one of us will get used to. So you as a photographer, I don't know what you think. Those are my thoughts. That is my opinion. Leave your thoughts in the comments below and tell me what you think about this. We can still salvage this because the industry is getting saturated. Photographers are getting in crowds, and the price is too low to sustain anybody. So what can we do to make the photography industry great again? What can we do?